Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka the guy who's been running through your girl's mind all day, and also from the police. 2020 is almost over, but we have a couple of big releases to close us out, including the new Hulu horror starring Sarah Paulson. Before we get into the ending of it though, I think we have to discuss the overall plot, and though it is relatively simple, there are a couple of nuances here to go over. If you liked the video, I'd like it if you liked it, and if you loved the video, then please subscribe as we do breakdowns like this each and every day, and you definitely don't want to miss them. Anyway, Run follows mother and daughter pair Diane and Chloe, who share a very close relationship. We're told that when Chloe was born, she faced a lot of health problems including arrhythmia, which I've definitely pronounced wrong, hemochromatosis, which I've definitely pronounced wrong, and asthma, which I've probably pronounced right, and I apologise for being an absolute moron all of the time. Anyway, she also has diabetes and is paralysed, which means that she spent the majority of her life in a wheelchair. Because of these afflictions, the character has to take various medication, and though it is initially a worry that she will struggle at university, Diane is confident that she can survive. Or at least she says in public. In reality, Diane is a controlling mother that is actually drugging her daughter with dog drugs, and not the good ones. I know what them Scooby snacks really are. Anyway, throughout the movie, Chloe starts to slowly unearth the truth about this, and we watch as she discovers things aren't what they seem. You see, Diane actually kidnapped Chloe when she was very little after losing her own baby. She has purposely been keeping Chloe under her control because of the psychological issues caused from losing her own daughter. Chloe learns of this and attempts to escape Diane's control, but after she foils her attempts to get away, Chloe takes matters into her own hands. She downs a bottle of poison, and thus Diane must take her to the hospital to get her stomach pumped. Knowing that she's likely going to alert the staff to what's going on, Diane tries to take Chloe home, but she leaves a note for one of the doctors that causes her to call security. Just as Diane is about to leave the hospital, Chloe puts her foot down, literally, and manages to stop Diane in time for the security guards to show up and shoot her. Diane is left apparently paralysed, and we watch as Chloe visits her 7 years later. However, a big twist comes at the end of the movie when Chloe coughs up the same pills that she was being sedated with, and we realise that she's been returning the favour to Diane and keeping her in a life of paralysis. Now, though it seems like a pretty straightforward plot and twist, I actually think there's a lot going on with it, and the film has some neat little callbacks and an overall metaphor that I think works really well. Now firstly, we start off with Diane helpless in a bed as she prays for her daughter to be okay. A wheelchair is pushed towards her by a member of staff, and this actually foreshadows the ending of the movie. In that we see Diane once more in a hospital bed, however this time Chloe is the one in the chair and not a helpful doctor who will allow her to escape the situation, for better or worse. On the whole, I actually think that the film very much represents a parental-child relationship, and the story of some finding it difficult watching their kids go off to college. Now the movie is a horror film, so it does take things and subvert them to the extreme. However, I think that throughout the movie, the clues are definitely there. Early on in the film, we watch as one parent despairs over the idea of their child leaving, and though Diane seems fine on the surface, we know from the movie that this won't be the case. She brags about how she'll finally be able to date and enjoy life once Chloe is out of her hair, but the truth is that she will face a lot of loneliness as the one regular person in her life is going to be gone. This is something that a lot of parents experience, and though they get more free time, they're also losing the one thing that gave them purpose for the last 2 decades or so. Chloe herself is of course a child, but she represents one gaining independence from their parent in many ways. Throughout the movie, we watch as she starts to discover things on her own, operate without her mother's guidance, and at the end, she's learned to literally stand on her own 2 feet. I'm not sure I need to tell you this, but symbolically, standing on your own 2 feet is very much a sign of independence, and the further that she gets to gaining this throughout the movie, the more that she's able to move her feet and legs. At the end of the film, we also see as the roles are reversed in the parent and child relationship. Now if you had a typical childhood, then your parents raised you and took care of you when you were growing up. However, as you aged, so did they, and it's almost expected that when you're older and they start to become frail, that you'll take care of them. This is a reversal of the parent and child relationship, and we watch as things flip with Chloe taking care of Diane at the end. Now I do actually believe that Chloe loves her mother, and in the final scene she doesn't seem to be drugging her in order to be malicious. More, in my opinion, it's just because she cares about her. Now I know that sounds a bit weird, and don't call the police on me again, but you have to understand that Chloe was raised believing that this is how one takes care of someone else, and thus she's doing it for her mother, likely because of the way that she was brought up. There's a great metaphor of Diane almost receiving karma for the way that she raised Chloe, but it extends far beyond that because she basically shaped the person that she would grow up to be. Thus, Diane is responsible for the position that she's in due to the way that she raised her child. The values and beliefs that parents impart on their children will make them become the person they turn out to be, and thus Diane is as much to blame for this situation as Chloe is. Now why I think that Chloe still loves Diane is because she calls her mom. Though we do know that she has tracked down her real parents due to her saying her own child loves their grandparents, I do think that she still has an attachment to Diane. In order to keep her sedated, Chloe must also visit her regularly, and this would take a lot of dedication, especially as we know that it's been 7 years. I kind of feel that Diane broke her back from the fall, and though she was paralysed, Chloe has been visiting her in order to make sure she can't talk or tell the staff at the hospital exactly what's going on. Could be wrong on that, but if she was able to speak, I don't see why she wouldn't have told someone what Chloe's doing. Just get her out, please, help. Anyway, in summary, I took this movie as being a metaphor for a parent and child relationship and how the situations of care are often reversed. Chloe learns to stand on her own feet throughout the film, but she still doesn't forget to pay back the one person that took care of her. Now because she had a subverted view of how to look after someone, and this is a horror movie, it's a very twisted way to do so, but I think this psychological thriller works on a lot of levels because of it. Now before we get into our review, don't forget we're giving away 3 copies of the Marvel Phase 2 box set, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below. The winners are going to be chosen at random on the 30th of November, so make sure you get involved, and best luck to you. Anyway, what did I think of the film overall? I'm sure you're dying to know, and you might guess that I really enjoyed it. The movie does a lot with the few characters that are in it, and Sarah Paulson knocks it out of the park as this unhinged person that you almost feel sorry for at some points. When she's standing crying to the mailman, I really got the feeling that she did care about Chloe more than anything. She just can't comprehend letting her go because of what happened to her own daughter. She's willing to kill all those that would take her away from her, and though she is a completely crazy person, Paulson absolutely nails it. Now as for the story, I thought it was great that this came in at a brisk 90 minutes, and it doesn't waste your time messing around too much with pointless sub-stories and things that you don't need to know. It's a really fun ride, and I also think that Kira Allen, who plays Chloe, is very grounded, and she gives a believable performance of someone discovering the truth that she's basically been living a lie. Run feels like a Hitchcock classic, and it's very psychological on a number of levels. If you haven't seen it yet and are watching this video for whatever reason, maybe you just like the sound of my voice, then you probably already know whether you're gonna like it or not, but if you're unsure, then I still recommend that you give it a go. And you hate my voice, don't you? Don't lie. Anyway, Run was a lot of fun, and overall, it gets an 8 out of 10. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the film, so make sure you comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, then please drop a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our breakdown of The Mandalorian, which will be linked at the end. If you want to support the channel and get to see content early, then please consider clicking the join button below. You can also come chat us on our Discord server, linked in the description, or at Heavy Spoilers on Twitter. Thanks for making it till the end of the video. You've been the best, I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.